Hi fans of high quality entertainment, how are you? Really? Anyway, I just did a video on my other channel, my ASMR, my Larry, how is it? Forget the name of my own channel. ASMR Larry Graves. When I made that name, I don't know if you noticed or not, ASMR as in Mr. Do you see what I did there? ASMR Larry Graves. Pretty smart, eh? Nobody picked up on that one. Now, so on that channel I did an unboxing of a certain fairly popular CD, double CD, a box set, a DVD box set, and another CD box set. So check it out. It'll be at the end of this video unless I forget. I want to talk about one of my favorite late 70s, early 80s bands, Devo, and I also want to talk about the polls I have on my channel on the front page. If you go to my front page at the top, it says Community. I probably have over 100 polls there now. I do 1 or 2 a day. And one of the recent ones, which was kind of surprising with the results a little bit, was on the Beatles. Just be patient, okay? I'm trying to find it. So there, on my front channel, scroll over at the top to Community. And there's all kinds of polls, and I read them all the time. So thank you. And I plug my videos there too. Always got to promote myself. So a recent question I asked regarding the Beatles, and I was kind of surprised and also, in a way, delighted with the winner of the poll, if I can find it. Well, one I will mention is, I had one that said, do you love, like, or hate the Beatles? You know my name, look up the number. 26% of you said that you loved it. 43% of you said you like it. So more people like it than love it. I personally love it. 8% of you hate it, and a shocking 23% of you have never heard it. Another one was, who was the funniest Beatle? Not surprisingly, John Lennon got most of the votes with 57%, followed by Ringo with 27%, George with 12%, and Paul with 4%. But I found him pretty funny, like in the Beatles era. But somebody has to be in last place. Here is the big question before I get into Devo, and most of you turn off the video. Shame on you. Who was the coolest member of the Beatles? And I put in brackets, you know, their attitude, personality, looks, etc. It's a little closer than it was, though. But the fourth, who came in fourth place, was poor old Ringo. He is the least cool of the Beatles. But he's still cool. And somebody in the comments said, why does it, or on Facebook mentioned, why does everybody hate or dislike Ringo? And that's not the case, at least for me and most Beatles fans. It's just that the other 3 Beatles were pretty talented too, right? And but I mean, Ringo's drums were just as essential as anything else in the Beatles, except maybe the songwriting, I guess. You need the songs. And in second place was Paul with 12%. And, you know, thinking back on the Beatles era, he looked pretty cool for the most part. He was just as cool as everybody else. John, who I thought would win with 38%, and I'm proud to say George Harrison won with 42%. And you know, sometimes I answer these polls. I have to go to my other channel though, and then I can vote. And I would choose George also. He just had this, like, an attitude of he doesn't care. For the most part, he's just laid back and cool, and he's not all into the Beatlemania as, some of the other Beatles were at some points. He just, especially later on in the Beatles years, he's just cool as ice and doesn't give a flying F about, popularity, being famous and all that. And, looks-wise and all that, he was pretty darn cool. So, congratulations, congratulations to George. Devo, I bought this when it came out. It's one of my all-time favorite debut albums. I never ever get tired of hearing it. This one is remastered, and it comes with I believe it's 2009 performance of the album, and it is excellent too. You open it up, and there's a CD. I don't know about yellow, but I just love yellow. Maybe yellow is my favorite color, even though I'm colorblind with red and green. I remember this Jay Giles Band album, something from the vinyl, whatever. I think that was the album. I could be wrong. But the label was this bright yellow, and it was like, that is so cool. So this is definitely my favorite Devo album, their first. And there's footage of them on YouTube. They were definitely one of the greatest live bands. Just so much fun and crazy. I just recently saw their performances on Saturday Night Live doing Jocko Homo. But that, Jocko Homo, and on the second album, Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA, are my favorite Devo songs. And so when this album came out, I was very happy with it. It was a good follow-up to their first one. Duty Now for the Future. There's the Spud Boys in all their glory. Alan Myers, their original drummer, he was great. Wow. It's kind of sad that, as the years went by, they became more keyboard oriented and the guitars kind of died out. And, then there was the drum programming that came in. Devo, their second album. And I also have their third album, Freedom of Choice. I had to make sure I get confused sometimes. See, and that's red. And I believe that's red. And so you're thinking, well, you said you're red and green colorblind, so how can you see red? Well, I've been told that's red. It's just when other colors like purple, I'm really bad with purple. But for the most part, I do see colors. This has turned into a video about colorblindness. And I enjoyed this album too, a lot. And like I said, it's kind of sad that the guitars are not in the mix as much on this album and further albums, but it's still great. My favorites are Girl You Want, of course Whip It, it's really overplayed, but still. Ton of Love, Freedom of Choice, Gates of Steel. I like the whole album. And this also comes with some live versions. All of the albums do. And that's it. Just talking about music as usual. Thanks for watching. And regarding my girlfriend Molly, somebody had suggested, or a couple people had suggested, her playing some songs that she loves and for me to listen to and give my opinion. And she had actually mentioned that before anybody else had. And so in the near future, we are going to do that. And I will make sure I love every one of the songs. Don't want to get the girlfriend upset. Bye. Have a great day. Remember to check out my ASMR Larry Graves channel. ASMR Larry Graves. Get it? MR Larry Graves. Mr. Larry Graves. And then I put AS in the front. ASMR Larry Graves. Pretty smart, eh?